1 week, 1 skein, 1 year later. Hi friends, welcome back. We are here today to recap my 1 week, 1 skein challenge that I did throughout 2024. Now, if you are new here and you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, first of all, there's a whole playlist, so I will link that so you can go check it out. But basically, what has been happening is that at the beginning of 2024, I realized I had a lot of single skeins of yarn in my stash. This is because I have gone to a lot of places and thought, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. I want to support this dyer or shop or whatever. And I've purchased a skein of yarn. And sometimes most of the time, I haven't had a plan for that yarn. And I got a little overwhelmed. So I started a challenge in 2024 where I put all of my single skeins on a little piece of paper in this cup. And then I would periodically pull out a name and make something with that yarn. Now, I started this challenge in February of 2024, so it hasn't been quite a year, but you know, we're starting a new year, so it feels like the right time to be doing this. So I started the challenge in February. I went through all of my single skeins and I talked through a bunch of stuff with you, and then I ended up destashing a decent amount of them. So only part of them ended up in the cup. And then my first 1 week, 1 skein challenge officially was in March. And we started off really strong. I made the BeachComber Tank by Bree of the Little Wolf Knits, and I used Bree's own yarn from the Tailgate collection, and I used every stinking little scrap of this yarn. And it was great. I had fun. I completed it in a week. I was feeling good after my first challenge, but let me tell you something. Let me make a confession. I've never worn this. I have never worn this tank. I think it's because of the deep armholes, and I never feel like there's anything that I can wear it with. However, I actually did just get some stuff, some like little tanks and bralettes and stuff that I think would be good with this. So my plan is I'm not getting rid of this, but I'm gonna, if I don't wear it this summer, I mean, we're a little ways away from summer, but if I don't wear it this summer, it's gonna go. I love it, but you know, I gotta wear the things that I own, right? Next, we went into April and I made the half full tank by Nicole, ThorsonKnits. So this was a little bit of a twist on the 1 week, 1 skein because I pulled out, I don't remember which one of these I actually pulled out. Both of these are one of a kind DK weight skeins from the Little Wolf Knits. I pulled out one and I had always kind of wanted to use them together, so I decided to do a 2 weeks, 2 skeins challenge, and I made this tank. And it was lots of fun. I started a little bit skeptical and I ended up really happy with it in the end. But guess what? I haven't worn this either. So now I think part of that is because this got shoved to the back of my closet and I forgot it existed for a significant portion of the year. But yeah, so not looking great so far for the 1 week, 1 skein stats. But let's continue on to what happened next. In May, I went on vacation and I decided to pull a skein to take with me on vacation, because what's better for a beach vacation that you have to fly to than a 1 skein project? I mean, right? I just had to bring 1 skein with me. And I picked this yarn that I can't remember the name of right now. I can't remember the name or the brand. That's not helpful. All of these projects will be linked for you below so you can take a look, and as well as the videos if you want to go see. But I decided to design a tank and it was a lot of fun. I made the Tamiami Tank. This is a design that is not currently released. I am aiming to have it released this summer though. I couldn't get it out last summer, and so I have been holding on to it. It is a very like muscle tank type of thing, and I know I just said with the BeachComber tank that I didn't wear it because of the deep armholes, and then I made something with deep armholes, but look, I can't explain it. I can't explain myself. I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, this was fun. I wore it a couple of times throughout the summer. I do plan on making another one because I want to make a little bit of tweaks before I release the pattern. So, yeah. It was fine. May was good. Then I took a break in June. I think I was feeling I had just done March, April, May, and I think I was feeling a little bit burnt out by the speed at which I was making myself make things. So I took a break in June, and then I came back to this in July, and I made the Biker Babe Bralette by Amanda of Lovely by Lee, and this is some DK Winterberries yarn. Whoa, that's bright, making my camera do things. I forget the name of it as well. I should have been more prepared for this, but look, it took a little bit of effort for me to get set up. It takes more effort since my fall than it used to, and I'm not stopping now. I'm here, so we're going. Anyway, I actually ended up making this in a weekend. It was so fast. It flew. It absolutely flew. Super duper fast. And I wore this all the time over the last summer. Actually, that's a lie. I wore it all the time when I first made it, and then it again also got pushed to the back of my closet. And so at the end of summer, I kind of forgot about it, but I did get a lot of use out of this. And then what happened is I burnt out really hard on 1 week, 1 skein. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I was not interested in doing it for a really long time, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but let's talk quickly about my final 1 week, 1 skein, which happened in December. And I started out by making a pair of socks for my husband. Kind of failed at that, couldn't get it done within the week. And then I switched to making a Musselburgh for him. And I can't show you either of those projects. They're both finished now, and I can't show you either one because he's currently in possession of them, wearing them, getting lots of use out of them, which is fantastic. But that was my final 1 week, 1 skein of the year. So I ended up only doing 5. And that feels, when I first looked at the numbers, that felt like such a failure to me, because I originally wanted to start doing it once a month. I started that, and then I dropped off really hard, and it really felt like a failure. But then I started thinking some more about what happened and what I want to change moving forward. So let's talk about that now. Okay, the sun is actively setting, and so I just moved us a little bit so I could try and not be one gigantic shadow, but I don't really think it worked. But like I said, I'm not stopping, so we're just gonna keep going. Let's talk about what I learned about myself through this process. And I actually did think about this a lot throughout the year. And for some reason, I was like so committed to making it last the year that I didn't want to stop in the middle of the year and talk to you about this, even though I probably should have. So here's what went down. Sometimes I just wasn't feeling it. Sometimes I just didn't want to pull yarn out. Maybe I wanted to make something with a single skein, but maybe I just wanted to pick which one I wanted. But then sometimes I would feel like, well, I can't just do a vlog and say I want to work with this, so I'm gonna make this. I definitely could have. And sometimes I really didn't want the mug to tell me what I was doing. Sometimes I didn't want the unpredictability. Sometimes I wanted to make something and I just really didn't feel like vlogging it. You know? So I think I learned I need to just go with the flow a little bit more. if I don't put out one a month, I don't put out one a month. It's not the end of the world, and it's gonna be okay. I don't have to do them every 4 weeks. Sometimes I can do it in 5 weeks. Sometimes I can do one 3 weeks later if I really feel like it. It doesn't really matter. The next thing that I realized was I think I was burning myself out on tank tops. Because I felt like that was like all that there was for some reason. I do get extra inspired to make tanks in the summertime, but I wasn't making any socks. I didn't make any socks. I made a pair of socks in January of last year and a pair of socks in December of last year. So I wasn't doing anything in between with socks. I had no interest in it. I had no interest in hats. I didn't really want to do a one skein shawl because I don't really love them. They always end up too tiny for me. So I felt really limited in what I could work on. And it got to the point where I was like, I don't really feel like making another tank, and there aren't tanks out there that I really want to make. Not that there aren't great patterns out there, but I just didn't want to pick a pattern just because I needed to find a tank to make, you know? I wanted to feel like that tank was going to work with my wardrobe at that time and what I wanted to do. So, where do we go from here? What comes next? Well, I still kind of want to keep going with this challenge. I still like it. And actually these are my most watched videos. You guys seem to really like them. So I do want to keep doing it, but I feel like we need to tweak some things. Now, I have destashed a bunch of single skeins over the course of this past year, so I have a lot less to choose from now in my mug. That feels like it's better and worse in some way, because I feel like it feels like I have more control because I know that there are only a certain number of things in there, so many options that can be pulled. But then also it's like, oh, well then I have to work with one of those things, you know? So, I don't know. I've been thinking about adding in my hand spun because I have a lot. Most of my hand spun is single skeins. I only have a couple left. I say left like I have made a ton of stuff with my hand spun, but I only have a couple that are like sweaters quantities or multiple skeins. So I've been thinking about adding in my hand spun. However, what am I going to do with that? Probably hats. They're probably going to be hats, you know? So, I don't know about that. I do feel a little bit hopeful going into the next year because I have found a little bit of my sock mojo. Found it a little bit again. But on the flip side of that, I have also learned that I cannot physically finish a pair of socks in a week. I can't even finish a sock in a week. So, we're at an impasse with, I feel like I am open to making socks again, but I can't make them in a week, so then that kicks them out of the 1 week one skein challenge. I don't know. I thought about changing this challenge around to be like a use it or lose it kind of thing, so I have to either make something with the yarn or destash the yarn if I don't want to use it. But while that doesn't then limit me to a week, I feel like I'm going to end up saying, yeah, sure, I'll cast on this project with it, and then I just won't. I feel like I will find loopholes and cheat the system. I'm open to trying it, but I feel like I will cheat. So yeah, that's where I'm at with this challenge. I'm thinking that maybe a good goal for myself for this year would be to do it every other month, rather than where I started out thinking that I could do it once a month. That was too ambitious. That was a lot. But I feel like if I do it every other month, or aim to do it every other month, with the intention that there will probably be some wiggle room, I feel like that is something that's more achievable for me. That is 6 projects throughout this year, 6 single skein projects, and if it ends up being 7, cool. If it ends up being 4, fine. I do feel actually excited to make some accessories now this year, which I wasn't in 2024, but we might have to adjust timelines. So if you have anything that you would like to see with this challenge, let me know, because like I said, this is your favorite thing. At least that is what the numbers are telling me. The numbers tell me that my audience likes the 1 week 1 skein challenge the most out of everything that I do. So, do you not want it changed at all? Do you want it tweaked? Do you care? Would you rather see, are you more interested in the making or in the time? Is it more interesting to watch someone try and make something in a condensed amount of time, or is it more interesting to watch someone get a random yarn and decide what to make with it and follow that process? Which one is what draws you to these videos? I have a feeling it's the time. I have a feeling it's the time crunch, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, if you have been enjoying these challenges, please consider liking and subscribing. It would help me out immensely, and it will make sure that you don't miss these challenges when they finally ramp up in 2025. Wow, I think that's the first time I've said that out loud, and it felt weird. Also, I have some new stash goals that will be happening in 2025, but do you want to see all of my single skeins that I have again before we start this challenge? Because things have changed. I've gotten rid of a lot. I have brought in some new single skeins. Do you want to see them again? Let me know. Anyway, I will see you at some point with some kind of challenge, with some kind of yarn. We'll figure it out. And until then, take care of you, and I will see you later. Bye.